Hey guys, would you look at this? We're doing it. I told you bonus episodes would be coming, and I would not pussy dick you guys. I would pussy dick several people out there, but I would not pussy dick you guys. You're the fans. You wanted a bonus episode, or maybe not. I don't know. Either way, here's a bonus episode. It's the final bit of the recording session from when Alex Grupas and Jake Woltering were on. So, you know it's going to be good. It's pretty much just a ordinary episode, except that we're getting you one extra one this month. So that's what makes it a bonus. As always, make sure you're followed and subscribed everywhere: YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. Take it easy and enjoy the episode.
Hi, I'm here to audition for the Stand and Know podcast.
Yo, we're not hiring.
Yeah, we don't make any money.
You know, just some kings hashing it out over the Bronx.
Hot, just sexual heat.
I don't have pants. Like, the only pants that I have, I just pooped in.
I was at a strip club an hour and a half before I boarded the plane.
What do you want me to do?
So, while you were gone, I never explained the prison idea. I just got on the Bob and David
Oh,
show.
really? Yeah.
And
What was the idea?
the prison challenge. So my idea.
Yeah. Panda Express. Okay, so anyway, me name
so there I was.
Finish the Panda Express story, and then we'll wrap this whole thing up. Call it a day. You know, our levels, they're looking good. Korean levels.
Oh, yeah, I think we were...
Jesus Christ.
What is the prison challenge?
So the prison challenge is, I went to, and I thought of this when I first got, very beginning of quarantine. I got furloughed for like 10 days or something. And like, when people were talking about like, you know, what if a quarantine's put in order, like a strict one where like Italy was the only other place that had done it. We didn't know how strict ours was going to be. Mm-hmm. And so like, I remember me and Sarah were like talking at one point. We were like, what if we like couldn't go to or from each other's houses? Do we just pick one of our apartments and potentially kill each other by the end of it? Or do we just go, hey, we're not going to see each other for a bit? Or at some point, you know, Romeo and Juliet style, I'll sneak out and come find you. You know, do you hear me? I will come for you. You hear me? Like full on day after tomorrow. I got to go through, I pulling a big sled behind me. And so, like, and it's like
74
this
degrees
is a quarantine. There is no nuclear winter going on.
Yeah.
This is a perfectly neighborhood. There's wolves packing.
What do you think is happening?
So
But yeah, so we're going through
quarantine or separate.
Yeah, so it was. And fortunately, we didn't have to make that decision because I was gonna make it was going to be the bad one. It was going to be, Sarah, I don't think I want to be with you for a quarantine. I know this is a bad look for our relationship, but I don't think this goes well.
It will make me miss you.
Because she was still, she was still working from home.
We'll grow fonder.
She was still working from home, but I wasn't. And I was like, I'm going to just, like, it was a small apartment, one bedroom, very small living room that's attached to the kitchen. I was going to set up all my gaming stuff in her small living room. She's in her home office, which was just going to be a corner of her bedroom. And I'm like, take that, you piece of shit, you fucking trash. While she's on a Zoom call. I'm in a COD lobby, you know, yelling at 12-year-olds.
Oh, no. That is the record on HR violations promotion.
That would be, she gets written up.
Now, you didn't say the N-word, but it was...
we all... Yeah.
But you shouldn't... If it's coming over your Zoom, you're going to be tried for that. Not that I say the N-word while gaming. I don't... But, you know...
Yeah, the implication is those pesky 12-year-olds
Those pesky 12-year-olds, they like to throw it around
They can do anything, and
more than they
should. Consequences,
you know.
And it's wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't assume anymore. Guys,
Could you at one point?
Well, I mean, not...
Makes an asshole out of you.
Not in our lifetime. Could you? Did you? Maybe. You know, you never know. You never know. I'm not here to, you know, life stenographer my whole life. Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, so the prison challenges, I was like, if I was like an influencer type this, and at this point I wasn't doing Stand to Know. Otherwise I totally would have taken advantage of it. I was like, I was an influencer, you know, trying to like go viral or something. I would do a like, hey, with this quarantine and stuff, you know, people are getting cooped up. They're like, oh, this feels like prison. And it's like, oh, you have no idea what prison's like. And it could be like a whole study on like what life is like in a prison.
Right.
And you tape off an area on your floor and you try to not leave it for a certain amount of time. And so Sarah went on vacation, and I was going to do it, and I had miscalculated. It ended up being the same weekend as Father's Day. It was the only weekend I couldn't do it, so I didn't do it. And so I was like, I'm not telling my parents I can't go to Father's Day because I'm in prison. Because I'm doing this
Locked up, Dad.
challenge. And finally, I'm in the clink.
Visiting hours are 12 to 1 if you want to come. Yeah.
No, we made all the goofs. We were like, I'm for sure going to have visitors. You guys come and talk through the phone to me, through the phone and the plexiglass. Though I was like, I'm going to go to Schnucks, and I'd even have to like address, and I'm like, and I know this is better quality food than they're getting. I'm not saying I'm doing the damn thing. You know, I'd still leave and go to the bathroom.
They got Schnucks in jail.
They got Schnucks Healthy Choice.
Is that a rotisserie chicken? What is going on in there?
Is that the Powerball?
How are they going to learn their lesson?
Exactly. You know.
It's outrageous. That fruit is so fresh. Is this just an advert for Schnucks now?
Yeah, I mean those Schnucks Powerballs, I would recommend those. They're pretty solid. They're just the healthy choice dinners you make, but they got some that are like the premium ones. You know, the normal ones are $3. They got some like $4 ones.
Oh, great!
That
Just
are
like a protein bowl.
It's like more protein and just more food in general, and probably better quality too.
Yes.
Shut up.
Better than in prison. That's what I think.
But either way, so I was just gonna buy like. And only do it for 48 hours because I'm not going to take off work for this. But I was just going to do it from like, I'm like, because what are we doing here? What are we doing?
What job? You're going to jail.
It would just be hilarious. Like, my boss is like, I mean, you are entitled to your PTO. I mean, do with it what you want. But like, this is weird, right?
I highly recommend it.
And like,
you go somewhere.
Funniest
Anywhere out of the house.
Yeah.
The funniest thing would be like it full on like breaks me. Like I go crazy. I go crazy. Sarah comes home from vacation. I'm hanging. It was a 48-hour challenge. Yeah. You could have ended it whenever you wanted.
You picked up smoking. I didn't even. Yeah.
I wrote a note and I'm like, I admit to the bodies. They're all hidden. And they're like, you are not in prison.
Yeah. You couldn't kill. If you try.
You wouldn't get life inside there. Yeah.
But yeah, and then even like, so Sarah was going to be out of town. She's like, yeah, you should have like Aaron even like bring your food and be like the warden.
Oh, and slide it to you.
Yeah, and like slide it to me under the door. And I was like, I'm gonna have to have Schneid's because there's gonna be a no touching policy. I'm not supposed to see girls on the inside. I mean, I can't be held accountable for anything that happens. I'm like, plus it probably just earns into some like BDSM thing that then I find out I'm into, where I'm like, I'm not allowed to eat or use the bathroom unless a girl tells me I can. I'm like, that's a rabbit hole. I don't want to unlock that part of my brain.
We learned something this weekend. And,
how's the prison challenge go? Well, not how I thought. I'm into BDSM now. You have to tell me when I can use the bathroom. It gets me off. So pretty well. Okay, now I just want to do like more challenges. I was like, I want to go like,
are you gonna do the wheelchair challenge?
Yeah, I was like, I want to do, but wheelchair might be a little too offensive because they're like,
absolutely.
Because people would be like, you think this is a game? You think? Well, very much. They'd be like, you think this is a game? And I'm like, this is fucking hard. They're like, no shit. And then also even like being blind, and I was like, I should do a study of depriving myself of all the basic needs of do how like you and Mike D did a was it 72 hours?
3 day.
3 day
fast.
They didn't eat for 3 days.
Oh, jeez.
I didn't eat for 3 straight days.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I'm like depriving.
How did that go?
By like day 2.5, you're in the middle of the 3rd day, and you're like, this is the best thing. Like it's like an Adderall. I swear.
Yeah, you get like
you know, like a runner's high in the middle, like
basically, yeah. But you go through waves like where your lunchtime, you're like, oh boy.
But
it goes away. You drink water,
coffee?
And then you have like a coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
But if you do more coffee than that, you're gonna get like.
I imagine
hydrated.
one coffee after not eating for 2 days, it's like a rocket.
I mean, yeah, it is insane.
Holy shit.
But yeah, so like after you guys did that, I was like, I want to do different challenges where I deprive myself
You're
of I deprive myself of sight, of legs, of food first, of freedom, do the prison challenge. I was like, I should deprive myself of shelter, try to be homeless for a weekend. And Sarah's like, you can't do that because you're gonna get mugged out there. And she's like, you understand, like, this is funny, but this isn't a game. She's like, you get mugged and stabbed out there, and you're You're just some like privileged white kid doing a challenge. Are you
Like,
kidding me?
It's the John Mulaney where, man, you're Walter Jacobson. It's out there.
Yeah.
I'm undercover.
Man, you walked a chick. Yeah, it's like you're not some method actor. Like I think with Jared Leto, for like some role, was blind, made himself like blind for like a month, the entire shooting.
Just some
and like, can you
crazy-
imagine being like his driver and like having to like help him with all this stuff? And you're like, yeah, you're paying me, so I'll take it. But at a certain point,
Like,
you want to
please.
he makes one last trip to the car. You want to say, hey, would you grab that thing under the way? And he's like, where is it? And you're like, well, would you open your eyes just for this one? Just for this one? Would you open your
I won't
eyes?
tell.
I won't tell
No one will
anyone.
know.
You know.
But I will think more of you.
But
if
yeah,
you help
so
me with
there's
that bag.
there's a very real chance I do 0 of these challenges. But there's a small
the
chance
no
I do some of
challenge
them.
challenge.
No
It's where I
challenge.
keep you off the internet for 48
You stop,
hours.
yeah, you stop me from doing any challenges.
I read a book. Pretty tight weekend.
Which that was gonna be so.
Adam reading a
you
book,
know,
that would be a good challenge.
that would be a
Because
good
I don't think you can. I mean, there's a.
I read a book this year.
You haven't
I
read
read a
it.
book in 2020. Yeah.
Wow, Grupus, how do you feel right now?
I know. I feel pretty dumb.
Actually, it's
days
probably
But let's be honest. That
Eating your
was.
own
that's a
words.
fair
Yeah.
fair.
Did you read it just like
Yes, no.
as a hobby, or was it a challenge? Because I feel like the only way you read a
It was
do anything at this point.
It was challenging.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It was not easy.
Yeah.
I gave up several times. I went back. I gave up. I went back. No, it was a book that like I knew I would enjoy. I wanted. So that's the thing, is I've been struggling to find books like
Say,
this.
here's the thing: there's a billion books that you
There's
can find so many.
You
that
can
you
find
like.
them,
Yeah.
but it's tough to
Yes.
find what you want without reading them. You know?
Well, there you go. Yeah.
So,
We'll catch 22.
Yeah.
I've read 2 books in my life. It was this year. And I'm not joking.
Really?
So, your brother...
Yeah. No, David always like
always
rips on me
pitching-
and you
always
for not
pitching
reading.
Dune.
Yeah.
It's
And
amazing.
Oh yeah, and you read Dune.
So, I
So good.
couldn't put it down. I read... Because the movie was coming out. I'm like, you know what? I'll try it. And like...
No.
Unbelievable. Yeah, like,
David-
these books.
David
they
loves
putting in
Dune.
these things?
Like he
yeah.
has like 4 copies of Dune. He's on like Dune's Reddit and Dune like blogs and stuff. David loves Dune and talks about it constantly. And when he told me to, he's told me to read Dune 1,000 times. And he told me, he said, I got Jake to read Dune, and he said I undersold it. So yeah.
So there you go. Yeah.
So Dune might be that good. So I might have to read Dune.
It is. No, it is.
It slaps. Yeah, like...
it
but,
does.
but again, my basis is
No other. book.
nothing ever.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Whoa! Whoa!
Yeah.
That's whoa! And you're like, that's good. Good. This guy is
Yeah.
an author. You're like,
This guy, the ball player.
Put that on the resume. Like that is for sure. No, that is it. Really good. And then actually though, he sent me another. He's like, okay, cool.
You like
Because
that?
the rest of them apparently not so good.
They-
on the,
That's
They go-
one I've read. Yes.
Yeah.
the first.
so I'm missing. You know, if you want to dig in
You're
there,
on a
go
win
for
streak
it.
right now. We
I'm
don't
not-
need to-
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then he's like, pick up Red Rising was the series, and I read the first one, and
Nailed it again.
great. Like that
Really?
one was great. Yeah, powered through that, and I stopped because I thought I can't. And I had just a lot of shit start coming out. Like I had a bunch of stuff at work, so I got the second and third. And this one, the series apparently is really good. So I bought the other 2, and I get a text about like once a week, and just like, hey, no, it was all fun and games about this reading shit, but if you want to pick that book up, I really need to talk about it from your brother.
That's-
And I'm like, yeah.
So I've told him I won't read Dune until he watches the Black Donnellys. Do you know about the Black Donnellys?
It was one
You tried to get me to
season,
watch that.
and then
Yeah.
they cancel though,
Yeah, they
or
canceled.
was it a couple season?
It was one season, and it was the second most streamed show that NBC has ever produced. Which NBC is no schmuck.
Christ,
They're
they-
not top tier.
I got The Office. So
Yeah.
that's-
Heroes is their number 1, and Heroes has been on for forever.
okay.
You know.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. And
not the
and I don't watch Heroes.
NBC,
You know,
how
I'm
about
not here vouching for Heroes, but like, but so like, and they didn't cancel it because it was bad. It was just the director like dropped out and they couldn't have someone to fill it. And there's a million shows trying to get made, so like they don't need a big reason to cancel a show. You know, like there's so many people
Right,
fighting
yeah.
for that spot. You know, if they were like, hey, we can hire this director, or we got 20 other shows on deck. So it's such a good show. David watched the pilot and was like, this is such a good show. you should watch this. And I was like, oh, absolutely. And I watched like 4 episodes that night and was like, you're right, it's awesome. You got to catch up. Because he told me I'd only watched a pilot. And then like the next night, I watched another 4. And then I watched like the last 2 or however many there were left.
Yes.
And that was like 4 or 5 years ago. And David's
just
never watched
still-
more than the pilot.
Oh boy.
He got me to watch the show, told me it was awesome. I watched, agreed it was awesome. I've bought it on DVD. I bought it on
Really?
DVD because
Really?
when they took it off Netflix, I've rewatched it like 2 other times while it was on Netflix. I took it off Netflix.
Wow.
I bought it on DVD. I've watched it like twice since I had it on DVD.
Does it wrap up decently?
It wraps up good enough that like they knew there was it could
Gotcha.
be the ending,
Yeah.
but there definitely could have been a second season.
Yes.
You know, like some guys die, but like not everyone, and like
For sure,
it's a really still a pretty solid ending. So, and that's David's argument is he's like, well, I don't want to watch it, get super into it, and be mad there's not a second season. And I'm like, no, but like the ending's good enough that you feel like you watch a good movie where you're like,
Right.
well, there's the ending.
Yeah.
Open
And
for interpretation.
and he's real POS about it.
Yeah, the other one like that I would recommend from Netflix, if it's still there, was Santa Clarita Diet. It's
That
with
show's great.
Drew Barrymore and
You know that
Timothy Oliphant, and then
Who's Danny Cordray?
Yeah.
God, Joel McHale is one of the other, just like
Joel
side
McHale and the
character.
girl from Psych.
Yes, Jules. Yes, they're rival real estate agents,
Mm-hmm.
and Drew Barrymore and Timothy Oliphant are a married couple who are also realtors, and
Mm-hmm.
then she just gets turned into a zombie.
Well, like right in the first episode.
And
Naturally.
it's
Yeah.
so
In
like
the first
no
episode, she
spoilers.
becomes
Yeah.
a zombie.
And then Nathan Fillion's in there. Like it's a great cast, but
It's a great show.
it's
They only did 3 seasons.
but
they just
left
ended it recently.
Pretty open.
Yeah, and
But
it was
it's-
disappointing.
It got
It got
canceled.
canceled?
And so like 3rd season, you're like,
I'm-
whoa, that's gonna be what?
So that was only in the last like year or so. Now 2020 definitely didn't help
yeah.
it, but like Longmire
It was
got
before
3
that.
seasons, got dropped, and then got picked up and did like 8 seasons. So I'm still a little bit holding out hope on Santa Clarita Diet that someone else will be like, hey, it's not up to Netflix's standards, but it's good enough for us. We'll make it and sell it to Netflix.
The
or
only
Hulu or
issue
something.
is the star power is too great for them to be like, yeah, this will be a nice side, because like Drew
Yeah.
Barrymore
They have
started
such a
that talk
schedule,
show.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
like trying to get all. That's
Yeah.
why. Sorry, just check my levels. Just hit that mic.
looking good.
Arrested Development, kind of that 4th
Yeah.
season.
They
the
had too many
Netflix-
star- yeah.
And they just couldn't get everybody, so they did those
together.
solo
It
episodes,
was
and it's
weird.
like,
It
don't
didn't
bring back
work.
a,
Yeah.
Just not the same.
a subpar product, and that's where I'm just worried. It's like you can't.
But no,
Yeah, dude.
Santa Clarita Diet is so funny. Timothy Oliphant in that is so funny.
The neighbor. I don't know the neighbor.
The
kid's
neighbor
name.
kid is so absurdly funny. It
I will
is.
watch
He's the best
anything
part of the
with
show.
him in there.
Yeah,
Like,
he's the best
now-
part of the show.
My list is Bill
haven't
Hader and
heard
that
of
kid.
the show.
Like those two.
There's just so much on Netflix. I think.
It's
But it's also like
amazing.
that's maybe part of the reason why it's still not around is that it didn't get marketed. But it's
Also, what was the name of the show again? I think that's the biggest problem. You said
Santa-
it 3
yeah.
times.
Santa Clarita Diet.
Yeah.
It's a terrible name.
Well, Santa Clarita is that a real city or like making fun of
Yeah.
Santa Clara?
Could be
Like
just
California.
Like I don't know honestly.
So
Yeah.
it's I think it's
But it's
supposed
like
to
a
be a California,
California,
show.
yeah,
Yeah.
like there's a city, and you know they got their cookie cutter
And,
life
like,
and world, and
all
they got
that,
Like
the
yeah.
like the
house
South
and
the South Beach diet,
Yeah.
like that type of. But
Yeah.
she's a zombie, so that's her diet. So they have to find out.
There's the
She's not
twist,
like
yeah.
a zombie in the sense that she can control it, but she still has to eat people.
So they
So
got to figure out how to.
They're finding out who for her to eat, and like they're trying to find like the first few like they like fumble into like someone dies, and then then they like find like a white supremacist, and they are trying to rationalize
Like,
killing a white
yeah.
supremacist, and then they find like a drug dealer that's like selling to like high schoolers, but then like he ends up being a great guy, and they don't want to kill him. And, like there's some hijinks ensue, for sure.
So it's like Dexter, though. So it has that.
No,
like,
yeah, they do. A little bit.
Except
like they
the
kind of
ending
make
was
jokes
probably
about that.
better from what I've heard.
Yeah.
I haven't
Apparently
seen the ending of Dexter. I heard it's like
I
the
can't
worst ending of
Yeah.
That's a
these.
great one. I can't
Yeah.
start it because I heard such
It's
a
so bad that
I was
I
like,
haven't- yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh, like how
Yeah.
One
How
shot
bad could it
was
be?
on
Yeah.
forever.
Because I already got this and it's 9 o'clock. Joe Coughlin regularly drinks espressos at like 9 p.m.
He calls it his LNJ, late night Java.
Late night
Yeah,
Java.
and he's like tagged it as he's like, you ever had your LNJ?
Do you remember the LNJ, the
What's
late
wrong with you?
night Java he got in Colorado? At the bar.
Oh, and oh my god,
The guy
that
didn't-
was insane.
I think I've told you the story about like we were at a bar in Colorado.
Like it's
and
like we're having a late dinner, like 9.
Yeah, it's like a 9 o'clock-ish dinner,
Wow,
and
you
he
guys are real
sees
movers and shakers over there. Oh.
he sees some like alcoholic mountain espresso type thing, like on some like dessert drink,
A
type
coffee,
thing.
alcoholic beverage.
Yeah,
video.
and he's like, and we all order drinks, and like everyone else just maybe got like some sort of mixed drink, but probably just beers. And it gets around to him, and he's like, "Yeah, can I get the like espresso, whatever thing?" And the guy's just like, "Yeah."
No, the waiter turned around and looked, and another worker is cleaning out the espresso.
Wait, did we actually see that, or did we just make
no,
that joke?
we did. No, like he was like taking it apart and cleaning it. And he turns back around and he's like,
And it was just like a, yeah.
he's like, are you sure?
Yeah, you can.
He's like, you absolutely can, man.
And I'm like-
I just so upset.
I didn't know you actually saw that.
Yeah.
Because I thought we just made the joke that like he for sure, because we knew he for sure just told them, hey, break down the espresso machine.
like,
We're not
it's-
selling anymore
yeah,
tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, who makes one at night?
And you hear them like they're working on a car. It sounds like an engine. They're like getting
Someone
it
cleaned
assembled
up the
back
car.
together.
God damn it!
That would have been great if we would have. He steps as soon as the kitchen saloon doors close.
Yeah.
God damn it!
Comes back out all did you want milk? in
Did
that?
you want the whipped cream on it too? No, it's no problem at all. The whipped cream's not the problem. That could be a talk too. That's not a bad one. That'd just be a funny, funny
recreate that?
yeah,
Yeah.
sketch type thing. Because like
Do
that,
you do TikToks?
yeah, it's funny. You're not even on the talk at all. We are on the
I'm
talk.
not on the talk at all.
Yeah, he's not on the talk either. Well, I post
Him
him,
and
he's
high
not.
school girls, yeah.
Me and high school girls shaking their asses.
Not together, like they're
Not together,
Separate videos.
let's be clear.
Separate videos, especially on the ass shaking. Where are your?
I go.
Where are your parents?
I can't be here for this.
I'll shoot over here, guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna use this corner.
You guys using this other room?
Try to keep it down.
You're just like walking through the background.
You guys don't need the mics,
I'm
do you?
sorry.
You guys don't need the boom mic. Yeah, you don't need that for this. But yeah, so because
On attack.
we post most of them, I'd say about half of them on IG as well, just on the reels. But are you even on Instagram either or anything?
I am on Snapchat to text Amber, and that is
Yeah.
my
You sound like the
social
waitress that's
media.
always like, I don't have the email.
It's just email. It's just
email.
no, yeah, you're like
Off
I want
Facebook
to.
before it was cool. I
Yeah,
just
no,
never got on,
I-
and people were like, "Yeah, me too," and I'm like,
So for these episodes,
Loop back around to me, yeah.
cyclical.
I usually plug people's like Instagrams and stuff if they want it on the stuff. I'm gonna plug your Facebook if that's cool, because
Oh,
it's an
it's,
old picture from like 7th grade basketball, super blurry.
The YMCA
Oh,
shirt.
so I got rid of that one.
Oh, okay.
I went timeless. It was me as a child, ageless.
That works.
I look disgruntled. I'm holding a very small bass like this. Like, you want to go out there? I don't know how to. accept
No, yeah,
friend
it would
requests,
like we would
so-
even for like the Camp David's the Beer Olympics type things. We'd make a Facebook group for it. And I'd always have to text you like, "Hey,
Yes.
would you check it? At least once a week? I know you don't. I'm like, just
Don't
because it's
know
easier.
Don't
to
know the password.
Yeah.
I'm so like literally like I feel like an ass for those cases. I really could. The other stuff, I'm like, and then you'd be like, "Hey, I just sent this to
Just sent
literally
it.
everyone." And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well,
Damn.
that's what I was doing at the beginning of Stan and O's videos. Is I had so we'd put them on YouTube, and then I'd post the YouTube links on Instagram and on Facebook and stuff. And you were the only one. You'd get a singular text every single time, and you're like, "Thanks, I haven't got the chance to subscribe yet."
Yeah, smashing that button. The button's not responding.
I'm not. I don't know how to turn on notifications. I'll do it for you next
So
time.
touch. How do I smash very literal?
Which
What do we
it's-
need to do here?
beginning of my life, I had barely more social media presence than you. Like I did Facebook, but like I never
You had
posted.
nothing, and now
I had
you
like
do it
nothing
more than-
and now
yeah.
I do, and so it's wild. So like
Our two friends that did the least, you and Joe, now are probably the two
now
most
are like the
involved.
two biggest influencers.
Joe
Yeah,
Yeah.
Joe Col-
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
in the Midwest area, the two biggest influencers, me and Joe Coughlin.
Well,
Well,
congratulations, guys.
Which I'll send you Joe Coughlin's TikToks. They are
Wait,
so
he makes
funny.
TikToks?
Oh my god, yeah. So
thought
he
you just tweet it.
He's only made like 4 of them, but
he-
they're
Plugging it.
he just does this. Yeah, I'll tag it because
There you go.
they are so funny. Mainly just one in particular where it's like
I didn't know he did that.
it was
yeah.
just a trend of like the song, and then it's supposed to like transform your face into someone, and he just like looks at it, looks away like it's too close. He's like on his side. It just looks like an old guy who didn't know he was recording.
Yeah.
And that's what he posted. No, the filter didn't actually do
He's
the
like, "This is
thing.
gonna hit."
He just goes. He's just kind of like looking around. And it's just like the music in the background and like the lights flashing are on the thing and it's nothing. And it is so absurdly funny. And I plugged his Twitter on the last pod that's not out yet. And I was like, you need to follow Joe on Twitter.
His tweets are
he
it's
has
like a stream
either
of conscious kind of
experienced
type of tweeting.
some sort of psychotic slip
And it's
where
like-
he's now not with us anymore, or he's gotten really funny.
Yeah.
And we don't know which one it is.
I don't hang out with him often, but like when we're hanging out in a group and he'll be there. The last thing I heard, and it was out of earshot, was something. Yeah, and I was able to work the Syria conflict into that, and I was like, what the are you tweeting about? And he's like, I brought it back around. People were on my side at the end, and I'm just like,
And I mean,
he wants to have a presence.
He's by no means blowing up. I bet
he has
bet you
like
he's
14
he's probably
followers
in the
this is the big break.
in the low double digits, but the people who are fans are regularly commenting and stuff, and that's what you need to get. And it's really pretty funny. Though, like the whole beginning of my existence was about not having a social media presence. You made a fake Twitter of me, and the whole joke of it was that how much it was ironically me.
Yeah,
and
it's
like
just tweeting about like I'm doing push-ups right now. That
yeah,
was,
like
the tweet.
I'll do a retweet for every or a push up for every retweet.
just the dumbest.
Like my bio was just like I love engineering. It's like
I would just tweet
talking
like,
about
a picture
swag
of the
and
Colts.
stuff.
Like,
Yeah.
it was just like a grainy picture of the
yeah,
Colts.
yeah. It was a Coles fan account for a while.
Somebody's dad would still be like,
Nice.
they actually do have pretty good
Yeah, it's like,
feeling
that's
there.
actually a good call. Yeah, Colts Cash is great. Yeah.
Like at one point, it was a super
weekend
blurry, super blurry picture of him watching Drill Bit Taylor on Netflix, and it was
Watching
like
my favorite movie.
Netflix just added my favorite movie.
I've always said Adam's favorite movie is Drill
Like,
Bit.
the
Taylor.
most subtle bits that like so the people who don't know me well or don't know Grupas think it's me, and it's
No, they were
just
like, yeah, I texted
it's
him.
just weird enough to be really funny and not weird enough to be like he's not just saying like you did tweet at Peyton Manning come inside me, but that's still something I might do. That's still something I might do.
You might do that. though,
Two
yeah.
levels of irony.
If I had a
Might get there.
couple glasses of wine, maybe you never know. But like the majority of the
Myself,
things.
I wouldn't do this, but send.
You're not responding to DMs, so
deleting
I'm
that one.
blowing
No way
you
I
up
delete
on the
that.
public.
Nothing back yet? Okay, no, that's fine.
But yeah, my whole social media, I never wanted a social media presence, and like I had a Twitter that like most of you guys never knew about,
No, I didn't know. Until
and
you,
it
like,
was
did-
just like,
First time drinking coffee.
yeah, it seemed to go well.
What is in this?
I wasn't gonna address it.
I did it towards camera. I'm a professional like that.
The longer you make it, the harder it is to edit out. So I'll keep it in.
Deliberate.
But yeah, like I just followed like comedians and sports writers that I
Right.
liked, and now it's hilarious that like Steve can post something on his personal and get like 500 likes because all of his friends and family love his stuff,
so long,
and I
yeah.
like don't have. And so before my Instagram, I had like 20 followers, and it was just things I wanted to send memes to.
Yeah.
So then I went and I would go through my suggested and everyone from high school and all our other friends, and I'm following them. And I did that like 2 months before we started posting stuff. And Sarah's like, this is like the 25-year-old male starting a podcast is like the 25-year-old female getting into a pyramid scheme. Like when you people in our high school re-linking with me and being like, oh, I wonder what why Adam followed me, like linked up with me. And then I post, hey, so I don't know what you're up to, but I'm doing this podcast. I'd love to subscribe, and they're like, God damn it, I don't know why I accepted this request. That's the exact same as like,
and you start your own podcast and it's underneath mine.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Or the friend who gets into selling insurance, and like there's that whole thing, and it's like, and I'm like, oh God, I am doing that, aren't I? Like, I follow them, so then they're like, oh, I'll follow Adam. I haven't talked to Adam in forever, and then I post on the podcast. They're like, that's the only reason he did it. And then there's a few people that accept my request to follow them, but don't follow me back, and I'm like, well, you want to see how you get unfollowed. That's how you get unfollowed. I don't care about your stuff. I went 6 years without following any of your stuff. You think I need it now? No, I just want you to see my stuff. It's about me. That's what
it's always been.
I used to look at social media and go, it's not enough me. It's not enough about me.
You're like those girls who go to Vegas. Look out, social media. Adam Dobbs alert.
Exactly. I should have done a big reveal. So social media, I know you had a good ride without me, but I'm about to blow your shit up.
Batten down the hatches.
I love those like Vegas. Look out, Vegas. Vegas ain't ready for us.
Yeah,
and it's like
the six
count of white girls from my high school.
Oh, we split a fifth, and it was a hell of a 3 days.
We got pretty drunk in our hotel room and then went to the bar.
Unless you want to dive into Afghanistan, I'm good.
We were. That was the last thing.
That was okay.
Okay,
well,
real quick
we'll
story
do
about.
Quick five on that. Yeah.
What's going on in Afghanistan? So we did. Do you know what Stonks or Not Stonks is? That's a fantasy show.
I would be shocked if you did.
Well, because I told.
Oh yeah.
I told some people about it this weekend.
Okay,
yeah. Gotcha.
And I couldn't remember. Like it was probably like Joe Kindig and Amber and them. But yeah, it's just so in our fantasy league we do the free agent budget thing, like auction budget, and so then. We, like the beginning of last year when we would do that, someone would throw down too much money and we'd say, that was not stonks, or you got him for only $50. That's definitely stonks. And then I started writing articles. I started writing just like short, like a paragraph on like the biggest pickups that week and post them. And I mean, it's our fantasy league is ridiculous. We just do stuff to pass the time. And then I started a podcast, Stonks or Not Stonks, and I'd have different people in the league.
Podcast.
Wait, legitimately, you send it out to 3 or
to 12 people. To 12 people.
Amazing.
It's unlisted on Facebook. You need the link to see it. It's the only, not on Facebook, on YouTube. You need the link to see it. I post the link in the group.
Podcast for 12 people.
Everybody watches it.
That's the podcast game.
He got Guest of the Year this year. Actually voted Guest of the Year. Yeah, like me and Kelly have been kind of running it. So we
Writers of America.
Yeah. And so we did the episode this year. It was just like the day after the draft. And me, Joe, and Kel were just super hungover, and I just set up the camera on us on the couch, and we're all like hungover sitting on the couch. But it looks like that meme of like the 3 little kids all sitting on the edge of the couch,
what is it
and it's always like Afghanistan, what went wrong, type of thing, and it just looks it looks like the worst like dude podcast out there, and I see a lot of them on Instagram because like, you check on like the community and stuff, you like their stuff, they like your stuff, they're the whole shuck and jive out there.
Yeah. Oh, that's twice now on the shuck and jive. Yeah. See episode 17.
I've been saying it a lot.
Well, isn't that the word? You get that stuck in your just like...
you're just like, fuck.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I've been saying shuck and, like, expressions like that, shuck and drive, riff raff, and hoot and holler. When Joe was here, I was like, we get I know, they're all old expressions. But it is hilarious seeing the other amateur podcasts out there, and so many of them are just
amateur podcast.
Yeah.
So you're calling this an amateur?
Well, I mean, you couldn't tell by the production snafu the first hour of you guys being here having to wait for me. I had to leave you in my apartment.
I passed you.
Yeah, no, that was hilarious.
And you looked so defeated. And I was like,
I was on the phone with Steve. He comes into the parking lot. I just waved to him like, Grupas will explain it.
He's going to Radio Shack or something.
Though
amateurs.
Though yeah, so I see the other amateurs out there, and some of them are so bad, and you just have to tell. I just have to tell myself that we're better than them, even though we have no followers to show for it. Yes. And I'm just like, it's like super cringy. It's just so many of them that are just a couple college bros, exactly like we were, and they listen to Joe Rogan, and they're like, we could talk about that.
Yeah.
And then they talk about that. They're like, so you heard about Afghanistan? And they talk about it.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of them trying to talk about the issues.
Podcast they heard that morning.
Yeah.
And I think they should leave. And I'm Joe Rogan, and I think they should leave. And they're like, oh.
When we brought
What's your
up
take?
on the one that Kelly was on, Steve was like, is there anything else we want to talk about, like things going on now? Because like it does help to talk about like trending things in the news, you know, and then you hashtag it and it blows up. But like
Evergreen, baby. 2040, this one is going to slap.
yeah,
It's called the internet, and
it's about making the podcast timeless. Now you can listen to this in 6 years, and we don't talk about any current references.
Creed will still be alive.
We're saying shuck and jive. Yeah. And they're like, when was this recorded? What are they talking about?
Sound like they were having a good time.
But anyways, it was like the height of like the Asian protests and stuff. And Kelly's like, "You're right, Steve. It's time to take off our silly hats." And I'm like, "We need to say that more often.
Yeah, that's
time to take off our silly hats and talk about the real issues."
If I could take off my silly hat. for a second.
Silly hat. So these protests, what's going on out there?
Hurricane Ida has ravaged.
I'm glad you guys
cities.
came to us. We're glad you came. But all right, that's as good a place as any to end it. Thank you for tuning in to the Stand and Know podcast. Take it easy, nerds.